get this place. Never get enough. Never get enough. Never get enough. Never get enough. When I get low, no one cares, and neither do I. Fuck you all. Never get enough.
Hello,
Hey Sam, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, Sam. So, how was your day so far?
Pretty good. It's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to you, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a good coincidence.
That's lovely, that's lovely. Great. So, Sam, your third full-length album number three, is to be out on October 24th. So, would you like to tell me a bit on the songwriting process and the production that goes behind this new album?
Yeah, I mean the songs are. I think the oldest one goes back to 2020. So they've been around for a while. And they're our most streamlined to date. I would say our earlier albums, the songs get fairly long. Very progressive, very 7, 8 minutes, all this kind of stuff. And we've got one long one on this one, but otherwise they're more concise. I really I wanted to make this one more focused, maybe more, less drawn out. And so it's a shorter record. I think it's like between 30 and 35 minutes, and we recorded it as many things are these days, kind of just in a distributed fashion where, I did the demoing and some of those tracks became the tracks for the album. Most of the guitars were re-recorded. Bass player did his parts, drummer did his parts, and we we were fortunate to have Mario Quintero from Spotlights to mix the record, which is, I mean, he did a great job. It sounds huge. We got some really good drum sounds. Our friend Josh did that, and Josh Newell, he's the guy that does like the NPR Tiny Desk stuff now. He's like the mixer there. So he recorded those drums, and they sound massive. And yeah, we're super happy with how it came out.
Amazing, amazing. And does the album have was focused on some kind of concept or a theme behind?
I would say it has a generally kind of like anti establishment message to it overall. I think that was a lot of what was going through my head, and you know, uh, not necessarily specifically political, but a lot about the way things are in the U.S. now, and to to a larger degree in the world, and there's um, a lot about it. I would say that the overarching theme might be like the that we have allowed a very few people to control everything, and kind of a rebellious spirit against that.
Great, great, great. And a great cover artwork that goes behind this album. So, like, tell me a bit on the making of the artwork and the work behind it.
Yeah, I my good friend Ryan Spar did the artwork. I've known them since we were in high school together. Um, and they do this kind of like very particular marker art style that I always admired. And so they had done a kind of a similar art piece several years back, and I was looking through their stuff. I really wanted to use them for this, and so I was looking back through their pieces and saw this one that kind of looked like it was based on the Mask of the Red Death story by Poe. And I thought that that was very kind of appropriate with given with the other themes of the album and everything. Um, and so they spun that up, and man, I love that artwork. They just shipped it to me, so I'm gonna get the original piece to hang up, which I'm excited about. Um, but yeah, it's very 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 cool, very striking. We got shirts made that we've got coming, which is cool.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I had the pleasure to listen to the album in its entirety, and I have to say, a fantastic album, amazing vocals, the musicianship is mind-blowing, great progression. from the start to the end. This album is must have for the year, I have to say. So thank you for
Well,
putting
thank you.
thank you for putting an awesome album, Sean. And as a creator, how do you guys feel about the outcome of this new album?
I mean, it's tough, right? We play a style of music that is not exactly metal, certainly not metal, right? So oftentimes I, I've made the decision to have as much integrity in what I create as possible, and I started this band to make exactly what I wanted to make, and I write exactly what I want to hear, and if I hope that it resonates with other people. It's tough, we've had a hard time finding an audience because we don't fit nicely into we're not a death metal band or we're not exact. I mean, I guess we're kind of a progressive metal band, but even then if I tell people, well, it's got clean vocals and screaming like Opeth, it doesn't sound like Opeth. Um, but so I wind up telling people we sound like Deftones, which isn't really true either, but we rip them off somewhat. So people can sometimes hear that. But I think I'm excited about this one. I think it is I think we all feel like it's our best thing, the best thing we've put out to date. And I think that if you can do that every time, then you got something to be proud of.
That's amazing. And are there plans to come up with an official music video from this album?
Yeah, we have one. It's gonna come out next Friday as well on the 24th. It's for the song called Drugs from the album. And we've been our Ilka from Fly PR, who's been doing the press for us, has done a great job, kind of helping us get the word out there and also to give us ideas. So we submit this thing to a bunch of video festivals, and it's going to play in LA at the beginning of November at the LA Horror Film Festival, and it's also playing, I think, in a couple weeks in Chile in Santiago at a horror film festival. So it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek kind of horror comedy homage video, So we're dressed like clowns and like Dario Argento characters and zombies and stuff, So it's very over the top. I mean, the crew at Ravens View Films did an amazing job with this thing. It was kind of a silly idea I had one day, and I thought, well, let me find, So I went on Craigslist and found these folks from San Francisco, and they drove down here in their car full of props, and we made something that's very cool. I would say it's better than the album, but I mean, I'm like, man, this is one of these things where like you make it and with no expectations, and then you look back and you're like, wow, this is really this is really very cool. So I'm super excited about the video. I can't wait to have it out there finally. It's been sitting on it for months. But yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. And are you guys planning for some cool release day plans?
We've got we've got a show booked on the 6th in Hollywood, with a couple other really cool local bands, Destroy Judas and Calm. And we beyond that, we're in the we lost our original drummer a couple months back, so we've got a guy playing with us. He lives in Texas, so it's logistically challenging, although it's been working out so far. So we're still trying to find our footing before we book more gigs. But yeah, I think we might go to dinner, man. I don't know. Um, I know that next Wednesday at a theater in town, they're gonna screen the video before a viewing of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so I'll probably go to that. That'll be fun. Um, but yeah, it's always exciting. You spend so much time making these things, and then you wait and wait, 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 and yeah, so it's just a little over a week away.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool, cool, cool. And are you guys planning sometimes in 2026 to take Dawn Fates on an international touring?
We would love to. I've always felt like we'd probably do better in Europe anyway. It's always tough figuring it out, but we've been talking more seriously about it. We have some people we know that I think could help us, but it would be great. I mean, I think we would love it.
Great, great, great. And Dawn Fate's history goes way back to 2016 and with three new albums. So how do you guys feel about the road that you have traveled so far?
It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but I guess it has, you know. It's been a, weird period of time in the world. And I think that we all kind of feel like to have created a band that is still around through all that period of time is in it on its own kind of miraculous. Because really, like most don't, and most bands that I've been in didn't play a gig, and most bands or last one album or so we're not reaching for the stars. We're not quitting our jobs and running off to join the circus, but we've been able to create art together, that we feel is important, and it feels really good.
Amazing, amazing. And I know there has been a lot of great moments over the years, but are there something special that you want to share with me today?
Mm. Honestly, I think my favorite moment so far was creating was that when we shot the music video earlier this year for this album. It was it was more or less my concept, and the director and his wife, and them taking what I gave them and running with it, right? And I'm the big horror fan in the band. And so I knew what was going to happen, and it was going to be squirting blood around and all kinds of craziness and costumes. But I was like, oh, are the guys in my band going to do this? Are they going to show up and be like, I'm not putting on a clown costume, or whatever? Um, but everybody was game and willing to do whatever, and it was um, it was just like it was a really silly time, and I feel like as adults, a big part of the reason why people continue to play in bands and stuff like that is to kind of be young, feel young and do these things that are kind of goofy or maybe people think are silly. And this was extremely silly. This is probably the silliest thing I've ever done as an adult. And I would guess the other guys would say the same. And so it was very fun watching these kind of, serious musicians do this really goofy stuff. And yeah, it was a great time.
Sounds amazing. And Sean, any message that you have for the fans around the world?
Oh, Sam. Um, Fans around the world. Well, keep going. Make art. If what we do inspires you, that means more than anything. And go out there and make stuff and screw up and make bad things and make good things and whatever. Just make it. Don't worry about what happens afterwards.
Beautiful. And Sean, I want to thank you so much for putting up this amazing album this year, and thank you so much for giving me your time today. And a real pleasure to have you on this interview. And I'm really enjoying this new album from Dawn Fate. It's a great album, like I said earlier. Totally loving this, and I wish you guys all the best. And really hoping to see you guys on an international touring soon.
Great. Thank you, Keith. Take care.
Thanks, Sam. Take care of yourself and have a great rest of the evening. And happy birthday to you again.
Thank you. All
Take care.
right. Bye.
Bye. Bye.